Alright, so then when you're here, this was equals, so then you're going to add 10 to the other side. So negative 290 equals 2x, divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals negative 145. Alright, in this next problem, you still want to think factor the denominator, right? So if you factor that, you take out a 2, you're left with m minus 6. I see a minus here in the middle, so I'm going to move that minus with the 3, and then I'm going to factor this on bottom, so that's going to be m minus 3, m minus 3. This one, take out a 3, you're left with m minus 3. So the LCD needs to be 2 and 3, so the smallest that can turn into is 6. It needs to have an m. Oops, I made another mistake. This should not have been a 6. This should be a 3 once you take out a 2. So then you have an m minus 3 and another m minus 3. Okay, so this first fraction, I'm going to change colors here. It needs, in order to turn it into a 6 m minus 3, m minus 3, it needs to be multiplied by 3 and another m minus 3. Okay, we're going to assume we did it on top and on bottom, and then we're just going to ignore the denominator. This one already has the 2 m minus 3's, so it's missing a 6, so it needs to be multiplied by 6. Okay, and then we just say, okay, yeah, great, we got the denominators to match. This one, it's a 3, so it needs to be multiplied by 2, and it's still missing the other m minus 3. Okay, so we're going to just pretend that, yay, we got, all of our denominators to match. So now we just really care about the numerators up top here, right? So let's see. If I have an m and a 3, that's 3m. And then 3m times m again is 3m squared. Okay, then I have 3 times negative 3, which is negative 9 times m. So minus 9m. Then I have this, negative 3 times 6, so minus 18. Then we've got equal sign. And then over here I have a 2. And then let's just go ahead and leave the 2 for now. And then you've got m times m is m squared. And then that's what? Negative 3m and negative 2m is negative 5m. Negative 2 and negative 3 is positive 6. But then I still need to distribute that 2 to everything. So it's going to be 2m squared minus 10m plus 12. The left-hand side is going to stay 3m squared minus 9m minus 18. Okay, in order to solve this, I need to get everything on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 2m squared and then this is just going to be m squared. It's going to cancel over here. Add 10m. So then this will be plus m. And then let's also move the minus 12. So then that becomes minus 30 equals 0. We're almost done. We still have to solve this. Because this is a quadratic with the squared, I need to factor. So what multiplies to negative 30 and adds to 1? It's going to be m plus 6, m minus 5. Still equals 0. So finally, my two solutions, m equals negative 6, m equals 5. And we're done. All right, if we just look at a couple examples on the back, this is number 4. So see how this fraction is missing, the first one here, is missing an x minus 1, right? The second fraction is missing a 4. And the last fraction is missing an x minus 1. Go away. So once all of our denominators match, just ignore them, and then let's focus on what I have up there, up top here. So this is x times x is x squared. X times negative 1, negative x. Then I have plus 5 times 4 is 20. Then I have the equal sign in the middle. 4x times x is 4x squared minus 4x plus x minus 1. So the key is here to get everything on the same side. So I'm going to move this stuff over here. So I'm going to try and zero out this side, right? So this is 3x squared. Add x. Oops. Add x. So that's going to be, what's that, negative 3x plus 1, so negative 2x. This is minus 20, minus 20, so minus 21. Okay, I would like to say, what multiplies to negative 21 and adds to negative 2? But there isn't anything, and the reason why is because of this 3 out in front. So remember, this is the type of factoring where you have to do these two, right? Multiply them. So 3 times negative 21 is negative 63. And then you have to ask what multiplies to negative 63 and adds still to negative 2. So that's going to be negative 9 and positive 7. Okay, so you got 3x squared minus 9x plus 7x minus 21 equals 0. GCF 3x, x minus 3. Take out a 7, GCF, x minus 3. Stuff outside is 1 parenthesis, and then the other one. Okay, and then you solve each one. So this is going to be x equals 3. In this case, you'd have to subtract 7 and then divide by 3. So there are my two solutions for that one. Here's another example if you still need more. On bottom of this fraction, I have an x plus 2. Bottom of this one, I have an 8. Bottom of this one, I have an x plus 2. So this fraction needs to be multiplied by 8. This fraction needs to be multiplied by x plus 2. Go away. Okay, this last fraction needs to be multiplied by 8. I put that too high. Alright, ignore your denominators. We wanted them to match, now they do. Now I'm just going to focus on the numerator, right? Don't forget these middle signs here. So, 5 times 8 is 40. Plus x times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. I have the equal sign in the middle. 12 times 8 is 96. Okay, now this is just a normal quadratic, right? So I want to get everything on the same side. X squared doesn't combine with anything, so that's just left with x squared. I am moving this 96 over so that I have 0 on that side, but I haven't really gotten to that yet. Combine my x's, so that's plus 3x. Okay, so then I've got this 2 here, and I've got 40 minus 96. So altogether, that's what, negative 54. And then this is just factoring. What multiplies to negative 54 and adds to 3. That's x plus 9, x minus 6. Solve this, x equals negative 9. Solve this, x equals 6. Okay, here, we'll do one more from that back page if you need more practice. So this is number 12 from that back side. First thing I would do is put x minus 4 over 1. So now I can see that this fraction has an x minus 2, this one has a 1, and this one has an x minus 2. So multiplying by 1 doesn't really do anything. So you can multiply by 1 if you want, just to keep the method the same. And then, you know, remember that you have to multiply this one by x minus 2, and this one by 1. Okay. And then again, we're just going to focus on the numerators, right? Because that's how we solve. We don't need the denominators. So I have x plus 3, and then plus x times x, x squared. Negative 4x, negative 2x, positive 8 equals 7. Okay, so the new stuff is done. Least common denominator you guys have done before. You know how to make a least common denominator. Then you just have to remember, ignore the denominators and set equal the numerators. Now it's just a normal factoring problem. So I move the 7 over here. I'm going to have 0 on this side, right? Let's start combining. I've got x squared. There's nothing else that combines with, so it's just x squared. Then I've got, what, this x, and this negative 4x, negative 2x. So that's going to be negative 6x plus the 1, negative 5x. And then you've got 3 here, and 8, and minus 7. So 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. Okay, so then what multiplies to 4, positive 4, and adds to negative 5? That's x minus 4, x minus 1. So what are my two answers? X equals 4, and x equals 1. We're done. Don't forget to do the homework, and that's all.